Home country.
There you go.
Yes.
It is 5 o'clock. We will call the regular meeting of the Wayne County Board of Education to order. First, we'll pledge the allegiance to the flag. Mark, would you like to lead the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let the record reflect that Dennis Ashworth, Mark Ross, Brian Thompson, and Randall Troutwine are present at the meeting. Missy Hall is absent.
And the meeting was originally scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th, and was postponed to July 30th due to a death in Missy Hall's family. So our thoughts are with her and her family members. And so we'll proceed with this evening's meeting.
Are there any recognitions this evening?
Yeah, earlier on, I think it was in early July or maybe back in June, I had let you know that we had a College for West Virginia champion school. So the Higher Ed Policy Commission has a campaign, College for West Virginia, that they work with schools across the state, and they recognize those schools that are doing a excellent job in bringing post-secondary opportunities to students. And they work with schools all the way down to the elementary level. And earlier this summer, I had let you know that Sarita Canova Elementary School was being recognized as a champion school. There are several other schools that were also recognized as a champion school. Those include Wayne Elementary School, Buffalo Middle School, Sarita Canova Middle School, Spring Valley High School, Tulsa High School, and Wayne High School. So we had an extensive list of schools that were recognized. You're familiar with the Gear Up program that provides funding to our schools to engage in these college activities. And there's a lot of good things going on, and that's recognized by these recognitions. So congratulations to all those schools for being named CFWB champion schools.
Sounds great. Any other recognitions?
No other recognitions.
Do we have any presentations?
No presentations.
Well, you've already given us some good news. Or any other good news?
Yeah, Michael and Cindy Atkins had made a donation, and actually they contracted the work done out at East Lynn Elementary for the walking track there to be asphalted. So my understanding is that there's a track out there in the field at East Lynn now that is 8 foot wide. So it was a very nice contribution to the school, and we appreciate their contribution.
I think I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah,
I've seen pictures too. It looks really good.
You really did.
Yeah, and it's something that we wanted to see for the school, and we just didn't have the funding to do it ourselves. And they stepped in and took care of that. So we certainly appreciate that.
Will the community have access to walk on that too, or it's not gated up there, is it?
Yeah, they do. They do have to gate it.
Oh, okay.
We've had there were some break-ins at the school previously and things like that.
I don't know if that's accessible.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's accessible or not. I'll check. And then Wayne High School is having a cleanup week and a facility improvement community event here for 3 days. And we had representatives from AEP that were there today.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so it's part of their giving back to the community. Their employees participated in a cleanup session down at Wayne High School today. And Mr. Thompson is leading those efforts down at Wayne High School for the next 3 days. And Brian, anything you want to say about that?
Well, the school bought new shrubbery or shrubbery to landscape the from the entranceway all the way around to the corner of the offices. So we got all that planted today and landscaping stone put in. And Kim's Nursery at Milton gave us a really good deal, and they donated some stuff. but then they gave us 10% off on everything else. And it all turned, we got everything planted today. It turned out really good. AEP brought a bucket truck and cleaned up a bunch of vines that was growing up onto the roof and over a bunch of existing landscaping. And so we're doing some trimming of trees that are low-lying limbs for safety issues. We did some cleanup over at the greenhouse, and the town of Wayne furnished 3 pieces of equipment, an excavator, a skid steer, and a dump truck, and 3 employees. And they cleaned up all the cattails that runs down by the horticulture program out of that ditch line along the railroad that we've talked about.
Yeah.
And so they cleaned all the trees off the railroad tracks all the way down from the curve to the railroad crossing. And tomorrow, Junior Ramey's going to have a weed eater crew come and weed eat all that also. And he also told me that if there's anything else that we can do, that they can do to help, then he'll keep guys down there to do whatever we need to do. So if we get time and how they progress, I'm going to try to get them to go down in front of the middle school as well. And so we got all the painting done on the red rails and the trash can holders and stuff. And it was really a successful day. It turned out real good.
Yeah. And I know there's been some cleanup going out back by the football field as well.
Yeah, so they've done a great job. The
Yeah.
football boosters has been back there, and they
Yeah,
did a great
football
job there.
boosters have been working back there. We purchased some paint for them. They were upgrading some of the restrooms.
Yeah.
And
They had a contractor. I don't.
Zach Atkins with Washed
Okay.
by the Blood did
Yeah.
that on a volunteer basis.
Yeah.
He caulked everything and did the locker rooms with the red, white, and black. It looks really great too.
Kayla sent me the pictures, and I'm glad you knew the name because I couldn't remember it. But he volunteered all that, so that was really good.
so a lot of good work going on there. So we appreciate everybody's efforts.
Did I understand, or was I dreaming, but did somebody say that they were gonna eventually put some sort of shelter there for the kids when they stand in line for the bus
Yep.
at Wayne Middle?
Yep. That's what we're looking at doing. Yeah.
Okay. That'd top things off. Those kids need it.
That's it.
Okay. Informational items. The regular board meeting will be on Tuesday, August 11, beginning at 5 p.m. here in our conference room. And another regular board meeting on Tuesday, August 25, again at 5 p.m. in the board conference room. And school will start on August 13.
Yeah. Staff is back on August 10th. All 200-day employees are back on August 10th, and then school will start on August the 13th.
Okay, do you have any construction project updates?
Yeah, so out at the Buffalo K through 8 project, SWOPE has begun setting up for the construction work, and we ran into an immediate problem. The civil engineers that had worked on the topography of the land there, where the new extension is going to go. When SWOPE had their surveyors come in, the information was conflicting with each other. So before they proceed, they have to get all of that ironed out and see whose measurements are exactly what they're supposed to be. And so we've got our McKinley is our architects. They're the ones that brought in the civil engineer. So they're working with SWOPE on that. And I'm told that that's to be resolved here by the end of this week. And so we should see ground being broken there next week.
After they move the fence.
After they move the fence. So that's the work that's going on right now. The only other significant action we've got going on in the district is the flooring work down at Wayne High School. They're working on polishing the concrete where we removed the tile in the Wayne High School cafeteria. And then they are working on 3 or 4 hallways down there. The classrooms and the hallways, we're going to polish concrete the hallways, and then we're going to do some LVT flooring in the classrooms. And that's where all of the tile was removed for the asbestos project. So all of that's moving forward.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, delegations. I think, do we have one delegation there?
Yep.
Okay, Mary Thomas? Okay. You can come on, you can do it from there. You can come on up here, whatever you're more comfortable. Basically, in the delegations, you'll have 5 minutes to address the board. We won't, may not respond. We're just here to listen to you. So the floor will be yours.
Okay, I had hoped to go into executive session
Okay.
to do this.
Motion to go into executive session.
It's not permitted to go into executive session for a delegation.
This is a personnel issue, is my understanding. I know I've witnessed it before.
Personnel issues, we're not allowed to go into executive session on personnel issues. And, with outsiders, it's got to be the board. So Mary, you're allowed to address this publicly. You can't use names, and you need to address it publicly. If she has a complaint about somebody, then she can file that complaint. And in that process, she can request a meeting with the board in executive session. But that complaint hasn't been filed.
No, I don't have.
Okay.
I just want to speak.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine, but we need to do it in public.
Okay.
Okay.
But I thought it would just be us, so I just want to let you know.
Okay.
Well, good evening, and I'm thankful that you guys are giving me the opportunity to speak. For many years, I've dedicated myself to the school system and the success of the students and the staff and the families that we all serve. Throughout my career, I've gained extensive experience in instruction relationships, building, solving problems, team collaboration, and supporting students and their achievement. I may have even had some of your kids or your grandkids. Each role has helped me extensively, and it's helped me to understand what it takes to create positive learning environments and build successful schools. Over the years, I've applied for multiple administrative positions because I believe leadership is one of the most effective ways I can expand my impact. While I have not yet been selected, each experience has helped me grow professionally, refine my leadership skills, and deepen my commitment and continuous improvement of myself. Rather than being discouraged, that these experiences have strengthened my determination and preparation to serve as an administrator in our schools. I have years of successful experience in education. I have a strong instructional knowledge and commitment to students and achievement. I have proven my ability to create positive relationships with students, staff, families, and the community. I have experience collaborating with diverse teams to solve problems and achieve goals. I am a dedicated teacher, and I support my students, my colleagues, and the success of each teacher's classroom in the school that I teach in. I have a growth mindset, and my willingness to learn has been proven. And in ending, I cannot change the decisions made over the past 13 years, but I can control my commitment and my preparedness and my dedication to our students. I stand before you today with the same passion that led me to be an educator, and it has strengthened my experience and my readiness to lead. I would be honored to serve as a county administrator if chosen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, superintendent director's reports.
Yeah, first up is the Wayne County Schools financial analysis. We've given you an updated version this evening. This is a copy this is a report that's generated by the state. And the state had originally sent the one that came to you in your separate attachments. And then after we sent it out to you, they, I think they found, Jeb, what was it? They found some errors or adjustments that needed to be made, and they reproduced the documents. So the ones that we're providing to you tonight separately are the updated documents. Okay. And this is something that we look at every year. So we'll just go through this and answer any questions that you have. So on the top of page 1, we see the unrestricted fund balance going back to 2022. And you know, we've looked at this before. We talked about where it would be this year, that it was going to come back up. Our audit at the end of last year had us with a carryover balance of approximately 1.6 million. So you see that reflected in the numbers and on the graph. At the bottom of the page, you will see the information about the excess levy and the amount of money that was collected in the excess levy over those years. And then you will see the amount of per pupil expenditures recorded, ranging from 14,000, just over 14,000 in 2022 to close to 16,000 per student in 2025. At the bottom, you have the local, state, and federal revenues that come into the district and the budget amounts. Now, you will see that there was a significant drop in revenue that occurred between 2024 and 2025, with revenues dropping from 108 million in 2024 to 102,000 in 2025. One of the big fluctuations that you'll see is in that federal source revenue. And of course, COVID dollars impacted those amounts that you see there. So we've kind of traced where the chart was going to go from year to year, and we've talked about this one before. So this is just continuing information. In August, we should be able to tell you when they add June 30th, 26 to the chart. In August, we'll give you a good estimate of where that bar graph will be at that point in time. Going to page 2. This is our personnel data, again, ranging from school year 2022 to school year 2026. And the second line is the line to pay attention to under the professional personnel. So it says the number of PE, that's professional employees, and SSP, which is student support personnel, state aid funded, actually employed. And it shows you the number of employees that were in the state aid funding over the years from 22 through 26. Now, we are expecting when we receive next year's report and that they've added the current school year that's getting ready to open, that number, that 503 number that they're showing as employed, 503.5, that number should drop to about 468. And again, if you look at the last 5 years, that will be the lowest. That will be the lowest that the number has been over that 5-year period. We're also expecting at the very bottom of that professional personnel area, you'll see the number 83.45 in the 2026 column. That's the total number of professionals funded by the county board. So these are all the positions that are outside of the state school funding formula that county dollars are responsible for. That number is at 83.45. We're anticipating when we receive this report next year that number will be 47. And again, that will be the lowest that the number has been over a 6-year period. For service personnel, you have the number of service personnel, state aid funded, actually employed. Again, it's the second line. And you'll see the number 384.701. We're anticipating next year that number will be 342. The number of service personnel employed in excess of number funded is at 66.341. We're projecting that number will be roughly around 25. Now, what will throw that number off of the projections is if there's an enrollment drop, which we've seen every year. So if enrollment stayed the same, that number would be 25 next year. If the enrollment drops, then it'll climb higher. But going down to the very bottom, the last number in the bottom right, the total number of personnel employed in excess of the number funded through the professional student support through the state aid plan is 149.786. Now you'll see that's the second lowest number in the last 5 years as recorded in the last school year that we just closed. Next year, that number should be around 78, which is a significant drop. And that needed to happen for budget adjustments. Now, if you go on over to page 3, this is information that you have not seen before. The state has expanded this report. And they are reporting out on page 3 about the dollars that are spent on employees over formula or any local supplements. Any positions that are over 200 days. And then it drops down to the service personnel, shows you the amount spent over formula there, and any local supplements provided to service personnel. So you'll see that there was a slight drop in 2026 in the amount spent outside of the state formula, that number being 13,524,000. And with those drops that we just talked about in the projected numbers, we anticipate that there will be a significant drop in that number back to 22, 23 levels. Then they identify personnel funding that's coming in through the excess levy and then what the shortfall is. And you'll see that we decreased the shortfall in 2026 by about $1 million. It dropped from 6.5 to 5.5. And that number should continue to go down when we see this report next year. At the very bottom of the page is the enrollment data, and this has been reflected in this report before. And it just contains the information from the year we just closed, and you'll see that the number of students has dropped from 5,915 to 5,679.
Is that the number we're supposed to start this coming school year with? Is that we're anticipating, or is that just what we finished it with?
We finished it at, well, no, that was October 1st number.
Okay.
So as the year goes on, we typically lose students as the year goes on. Enrollment typically drops off. There's a lot of moving in and moving out, but usually the negative factors in more than the positive. So on October 1st, we'll update that number. It would be a godsend if that number stuck at 5,679. But we'll just have to see where it goes. But you can see that, in 2022, it was 6,300, and then, lost close to 100. And then there was a big drop down to 6,082, and then a smaller drop to 5,915. And then we hit that big drop again. You know, it's like 215, something like that, close to that.
Yeah, at this rate, we'll have lost maybe 1,000 students over a 6-year period, something like that.
Yeah, it's basically like 10% of the enrollment has been lost over that period. But again, I mean,
It's like 1,600 over the past 10 years, I think. So.
Yeah,
and
the death rate is about a quarter higher than the birth rate is 75% of what the death rate is. And it's killing us. And then you add charter schools, so-called Hope Scholarship, and everything else that's going on. We're getting murdered.
When we receive these financial reports, and I'll share it with you, I'll send you all the full report that we receive. This is everything on Wayne County, but we see all 55 counties.
That'd be interesting to see. I'd like to see that too. So.
Yeah. And I was showing Jeb today how that chart on page 3, the identified personnel funding shortfall, the entire state. Now, I don't want to exaggerate. Pretty much every county that we looked at showed a similar pattern of rising cost on identified personnel funding shortfalls. And sometimes you'll see in 2026, our funding shortfall shrunk. Sometimes theirs are just continuing to go up. But what was interesting is some of their fund balances were going up at the same time. So their revenues were outpacing, the funding shortfall. So I'll send it to you. You can.
And I read
Take a
about
look
what
at it.
Kanawha County's was, what their enrollment loss was, and it was kind of staggering too.
I'm guessing the Eastern Panhandle's about the only one that's doing okay.
There were some in the Eastern Panhandle that cost, that funding shortfall is up, just increasing. So, but we'll send those to you so you can take a look at them.
Okay.
Any questions about that? Any pages that you had any questions about, anything you want to ask? And I know you don't look at this every day. So if there's anything there that doesn't make sense or you got any questions about.
This revised from the state, they still approve what we've done, right?
Yeah. And that's actually coming up here in just a second. If you will pull your separate attachment items that came with your agenda.
Okay.
This,
No, it was the,
I think it's this.
yes. On pages 4 and 5. Which one do you got right here?
okay.
On pages 4 and 5, there's a letter from the state. Yeah, that, not the addendum, but
The one that came with the agenda.
it came with the agenda. It's a separate
Oh, it's
attachment.
an agenda. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm,
That's it.
okay.
Page 4 and 5 is a letter from the State Department of Education about our annual determination letter for our special education services. And if you go to the top of page 5, just read the top line. It says, as a result of this review, the West Virginia Department of Education has determined that Wayne County Schools meets the requirements related to the implementation of the IDEA and has been assigned a determination of meets requirements pursuant to IDEA Part B. And they give some additional code references there. But basically, they go through a scoring matrix and they decide whether you meet requirements or you need improvement. And we were under meet requirements for the year. So I wanted to share that with you. And then on the very next page was to Dennis's question. Page 6, this is also a letter from State Superintendent of Schools, Michelle Blatt, regarding the approval of the proposed budgets for 26-27. And you'll see that Wayne is on that list of approved budgets. So the document that Jeb provided to you this evening, the proposed operating budget for 26-27, that's a final budget at this point in time because it's been approved by the state.
Done about everything we can do,
Now, something else I wanted to mention on the right behind that new copy of the financial analysis that we gave you is an Excel spreadsheet with a bunch of numbers on it. It's next up, so we're just going to go in order now. These are taxes collected from the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. And Jeb, the finance office, keeps a running tally on the taxes collected. And so at the bottom is the total for the year that was collected. And if you go, this goes all the way back to 2016. You can see the fluctuation in the amounts. The highest amount collected was the 25 school year at $9.4 million. This year, the taxes, the collections that we've received have been, is just at $8.4 million.
$1 million reduction.
$1 million reduction.
Did the state release our money finally?
Yeah. So the courthouse has it, and Jeb is anticipating receiving that check during the first week of August. And once we receive that check, we will, you're planning on receiving that to the fiscal year 26. Will that show in this June number, or it'll just be separate? It'll just be an add-on. So there's a good possibility that that number is going to jump significantly and might be at its highest point. So we'll let you know when that check is received. The school levy is recorded in the next column, in the next set of data. And again, you see the fluctuations there with the levy collections.
So why would that have dropped so much after, if you look back over all these, well, there's one year there at 18, it didn't come up, it dropped.
Well, our collections in May were, the check that we received in May was down about $3 million, wasn't it?
Three to 3.5 million.
It was $3 to $3.5 million short of what we normally receive in May. And you can see here, if you look back at those months, well, it's right here. Last May, we received 1.8 million in revenue. This May, we received $383,000 in revenue.
Okay.
So that's the big difference. And again, what that was is there was a check that came from the state that has to do with utilities, the gas check, basically. And
So the check you're waiting on is the one, it affects this number here.
yes,
Okay, all right, I
it-
understand now.
yeah, it would affect that May amount. But you can see when you look at the collections, the two big months are September and May is when the majority of the collections come in. And, we were down about 300,000 in September. And then we had that, that check lost that greatly impacted the May collections. So we'll update you once we get those numbers. Then you got the school levies in the second column, and then the school bond itself is in the third data set that you see there. On the second page, is collections on the permanent improvement. So you see a drop there. And then the very last column is the totals on revenue, local revenue collections for the year. So it's all, everything up above it totaled up. So right now we stand at about 2.5 million short. And so hopefully when we get that check correction, that will make up all of that and then some. And then you see the total collections there over the years dating back to 2016. So that's just for your information. Next up, you have a letter at the very top. It says a letter of interest draft. I had mentioned this at one of the previous board meetings. We have a company that's approached us about a cell tower lease program where they actually go out and they shop on whether any of the cell service providers are interested in having a tower site on property. And that would generate some revenue for the school or district that had those had that tower on their property. And so we've this is a letter of interest draft where they would go out and shop to see if there was any takers on doing a lease program to lease a small portion of land to put a cell tower on. Now, I think where the real benefit from this could come is expanding cell service in the southern end of the county.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to the company that brought this idea to us. I talked to them about, and they said that that's why they came to us. They knew that there was significant issues with cell coverage in the southern portion of the county. So they think they might be able to get some interest out of the cell service providers on putting a tower up somewhere. So this is just a letter of interest draft. It's a non-binding. There's no agreement to it. It just gives them permission to see if there's any providers out there that would be interested in talking to us about that type of service. I understand that they're doing it at Kanawha County. I think Sissonsville High School, if I remember correctly, has placed a tower. And I've seen in Columbus, I've seen on the football field lights that they put cell towers at the top of the football field stadium lights, and then below the tower or below the cell service itself, and you'll see stadium lights. So it's going around in some different places. But I was just asking for general information, and basically what I was told that you could be looking, and it depends. It depends on the interest in the service, but you could be looking at like an initial $20,000 to $30,000 payment, and then an annual lease amount in the amount of about $10,000 a year for the towers. It was just some frames of reference given to
Do you
us.
have an idea how much that Frontier, and I guess Verizon bought them back, how much the county they cover? I ran into an interesting thing the other day. These guys had the surveyor thing and they were looking at the poles and stuff. And you know me, I asked questions. And I said, what are you all doing? They said, we're doing surveys to boot, the fiber optics. Apparently Verizon's wanting to replace all the phone lines with fiber optics.
Yeah, I know
That will help
Yeah, I know Frontier's doing a bunch of fiber projects around. I'm not, I don't know which portions of the county that they are in. But as far as cell service goes, Mark, it drops off at what, Marathon, south of Fort Gay. And I mean, it used to drop off just right after Fort Gay, but I think it's now you can get service as far down as Marathon, and that's pretty much it.
What's the name of that hill up there, Mr. Pack?
We call it Coffee Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then on 152, service lasts what, down to 37?
Depends on your provider.
Yeah, Bill Runyon's house right there is just about to cut off on it. So, I mean, so every now, depending on the weather, you can get a little bit better, but
152 or 52?
152.
There's no cell phone service from Coffee's Mountain until you get to Kermit on 52.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
well, again, that depends on your provider because I can't get anything.
Well, they're supposed to put a tower down there and for some reason they backed out of it. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Next up, the next thing in your packet is the Brad Smith was here from Marshall University and Kathy D'Antoni about the Empowerment School Initiative and a partnership with Buffalo Middle School and Marshall University and the Empowerment Initiative. This is a partnership agreement. I'd sent you all an email. Marshall's going to do a signing for this in August. I think it's August 3rd, if I remember correctly. I'll send you a reminder. But this is the agreement that they've asked us to look at. So I wanted you to give a copy of that. And there's no financial obligations or anything. It's just an agreement that we're going to work with them on establishing this initiative. So I'll give you an opportunity to look that over.
I could be wrong. I've got it on my calendar. It was August 4,
Okay, cool. That's probably
3 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Now, the next thing is, the next item in your packet is about House Bill 4028. We just came across this last week, and I hadn't heard mention of it, but we have already made contact with our architects and relating to this new House bill that passed. It was House Bill 4028. And it relates to sales tax on construction materials, and it became effective July 1st, 2026. And what it does, it adds a new public school facility exception where if a contractor is purchasing services or building materials, it excludes fuel, but if it's services and building materials that are installed into or directly used or consumed in the construction, alteration, repair, or improvement of a new or existing public school facility, that it can be exempt from the 6% tax and any municipal tax that's applied to those purchases. And the reason that they passed this bill was to help school systems with maintenance and new construction and trying to get the cost down. And I just learned about this last week in a communication that came out from the state finance office. So we've already contacted our architects with this significant project that we've got coming up.
I was just going to say that should apply to that. So,
Well,
There's a lot of material.
yeah, it has the potential of being hundreds of thousands of dollars that could,
every bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Will it apply retroactively? I mean, if somebody's,
It says current, including current contracts down there at the bottom, so that should include that. So,
well, and they did put, it's my understanding, and Randy, we just saw this, and it's my understanding that it's retroactive to last year also. So we're going to go back and look and see what basically what they've told us is that you need to contact the tax office. But if you go down to the second page, the next to last question says, what if a project is bid or awarded before July 1st? And it says it doesn't matter. Exemption applies to anything purchased on or after July 1st, 2026 that otherwise meets the statutory exempt definition. So I know a lot of the building materials that are going into this new project, we'll have a chance possibly to drive the price down even further. So we've already contacted our representatives to make sure that they're following up on this. But again, this is brand new, just learned about it. I wanted to
What's
share
the-
that with you.
What's the round number on the Buffalo Middle School project?
21 million.
We have,
That could easily be $500,000 worth of sales tax on that job right there.
Well, and that's the, I said 21 million, it's really 23 million. When you take the SBA's commitment and our commitment.
That's only.
we have a firm that's like the clerk of works thing with the contractor, right?
Correct.
So he can stay on top of that and make sure they don't pad it a little bit.
That's only like at 30 to 40%, saying 30 to 40% of your material. And the rest is labors too. It could be easily be more than that. So
Yeah.
we should definitely be receiving something
Yeah.
in that. Yeah.
So that was good news. That's all I have for reports.
Okay. I don't think there's any board directives, or board reports. No unfinished business. Take us to topic 13, new business consent action items. Superintendent recommends approval of the following action items. Additional items received prior to the time of the meeting may be added. Discussion and/or separate action of items may be requested by members of the board and/or the superintendent. Items are subject to change. Any blanks will be filled in prior to the meeting. In the event a nominee withdraws, we reserve the right to put the next candidate in the position. Number one is to consider for approval the recommended personnel items. And did you have a new
Yeah,
handout?
there's a revised copy that was provided to you. So under employment, the recommendation for the multi-categorical autism teacher at Wayne High was removed off of page 1. You'll see that there. On page 2, there was an employment of a substitute being recommended that has been removed from consideration for now. Under transfers, there's the 3 administrative positions that are being filled. Catherine Bills has been recommended as assistant principal at Fort Gay Pre-K through 8. Elizabeth Calvert has been recommended as the assistant principal at Kellogg Elementary. And Angela Trader has been recommended as the director of student support programs.
And Catherine Bills, you misspoke a little bit. You said assistant principal at Fort Gay. It's moving from music.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. Moving from Fort Gay to assistant principal at Wayne Elementary. On the next page, Abner Vance, his effective date as a mechanic in transportation is August the 5th. And then on the very last page, there was a recommended hiring of an assistant football coach at Benson Middle. That recommendation has been pulled for now.
Okay, we have a motion to approve as amended.
I make a motion.
Any second?
I got a question. So is this where we would go into executive session to discuss this, or are we?
Yeah, if you have a general question, no, but if you have a specific question about, one of the specific jobs, then yeah, we would.
Okay, I'd like to request that then.
Okay, do we need a second on that second on the motion before we do that to go into executive? I can't.
Are we pulling a particular one for separate consideration, or are we doing the whole personnel list?
It's up to you.
There's two on there that I'd like to look at.
Is it, we gotta point them out. So is it the,
Well, actually, yeah, it would be two.
okay, which two are we talking about?
The football coach at Wayne High School and the principal at Wayne Elementary.
Assistant principal at Wayne Elementary.
So you're making a motion to go into executive session?
Yes,
Brian?
sorry, yes.
Is there a second?
So
Second to go into executive session.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will go into executive session.
5:51, and if it's okay, we need to do an executive session on item number 20, the discussion of negotiations and potential actions for the potential disposition of the Dunlow and Genoa Elementary School properties.
So we can do that also in this one executive
I'll make a
session.
motion, we do that also.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll go into executive session.
And it is we said 5:51. If you'll mute your mics, please. And there's a couple
Tom.
Need a motion to go back.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Time is now 6:33, I think. No decisions were made in the executive session. And this brings us back, I think we already had a motion to consider the personnel items, I believe. Or was that?
Dennis had made the motion. It didn't have a second.
I second.
Okay. Okay, we've returned. With regard to the personnel items, anyone have any other questions or anything? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consider for approval purchase requisitions orders quotes in excess of $5,000. They're set forth on pages 5 through 62. Do we have any amendments to that, Todd? Was it?
Yeah, well, I wanted to mention, we've got a CTE purchase order for a used lawnmower down at Tulsa High School. They put Bermuda grass on their football field, and the CTE program is going to do the turf maintenance down there, the ag program, and so they're requesting to purchase a used mower.
Zero turn.
It's a specialized mower. You know, they usually run 40, 50 grand. This one is 18 grand that they found. And so they're requesting to get that approved. I'm not asking you for approval this evening. We'll bring it to you on your next agenda.
Can I ask questions about it? Or
Sure.
where is it being purchased from? Is there a guarantee?
Country Club Landscaping in Ohio. So it's from a golf course.
What's that? Where you have that at?
Well, that's, you're going to bring that to us. That's
Yeah,
not-
I'm going to bring that to you at the next one.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have a copy of that.
No,
now.
you don't
Okay,
have
I'm sorry.
you don't have a copy of that yet.
You say it's 18 grand
18 grand. Yeah.
and a new one is how much?
They between 40 and 60 grand for a mower, and it's takes care of the Bermuda grass turf. So they have to have a mower that you only use for the football field. So Wayne High School got one from the local golf course here years ago, and we've helped them. We've tried to help keep it running. I know our mechanics have worked on it some, that type
Oh,
of
so
thing.
that's my question. I mean, I just wonder when you're buying used like that, or are you buying something that's already worn out? Would it be better off if we tried to pursue?
Be a good idea to have somebody examine it.
I would agree with that.
But that's really not even before us right now because
Right.
you've not yet brought it.
Okay.
Just something
Well,
to think about.
Item number 2 is to consider for approval the purchase requisitions orders quotes, pages 5 through 62.
Yeah, and there's a couple things I need to point out. There's a couple duplicates in here. Page 5 and page 62 are duplicates. That's the same purchase. So I'm going to remove page 62 from your consideration.
You're taking both of those out?
I'm sorry, 5 and 46. Page 5 and 46. I'm going to remove page 46 from your consideration. And then page 51 and 62 for postage.
62 would also be a duplicate.
Yeah, it was replicated. And so one of those needs to be removed. So I'm going to remove page 62. And if you have any questions about any of the other items, we can address those. I know there's quite a few on here, and remember the reason that you're seeing all these in July is because money's got to be encumbered prior to the services, and we try to follow that as much as possible. And so these aren't expenses that have already occurred, they're anticipated expenses. So you have a number of POs for transportation, for working on buses. You have a number of POs from the food service department for their purchase of food for the food program, for milk, et cetera. And again, none of this has been, for those type of POs, the money has not, is not being spent yet. It's being encumbered so that they can purchase as they need.
And this is anticipated based on the historical past of having those similar expenses.
Correct.
We get milk every year, right?
Yeah.
And all this other stuff.
I've got a question on page 60.
Okay.
It says Eastland Elementary plant sand replacement. Is that for the water treatment?
Yes. Unfortunately, the way we had to build that wastewater treatment plant with the flood wall around it, it is extremely difficult to do that sand replacement.
How often does that have to be done?
It needs to be done. We did it the last time probably about 2 years ago, so it's every 2-3 years.
There's how close are we for the county commission getting city water by that school?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just wondering if it would cost, what it would cost for us to pay to have the water line run if it's not real far versus $20,000 every 2 years plus whatever else we're having to spend on that water treatment. So
I'll be glad to check. But that wastewater treatment plant is absolutely the hardest one to work on just because of access.
is this wastewater or fresh water?
Wastewater.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't understand that. I didn't. Okay.
That's two different birds.
No, yeah, that's why, I mean, I didn't know what they was using sand for. Okay. Yeah, I don't.
Who made the motion, the second?
Nobody's made a motion or
I'll make a
something.
motion.
Second.
Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Motion passes 4-0. Okay, new business, separate action items. Number 1, consider for approval independent contractor agreement and contract for I can't even say it. Dietetic services between Wayne County Board of Education and Deborah Rowe at a cost of $75 per hour for direct services rendered for the period of July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. That's pages 63 through 66.
And
So
this-
she a dietitian.
Yeah, this is food service related. We have to have a dietitian that does menus for students who are on special diets. So this is an ongoing contract. This is just a renewal for this year. She's done the services for us for several years.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any questions, discussion?
What's that usually cost us, Mr. Alexander, overall?
You know, for the year, it's not an exorbitant amount. I don't have an exact, I don't have an estimate for you. Do you have an estimate?
Do we know what we paid last year total?
That's what I was asking.
Is that what? okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can pull the information for you.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Number 2, consider for approval lease renewal between the Wayne County Board of Education and D&P Developers for a parcel of land used for the purpose of a parking facility for central office employees at a cost of $6,138 beginning July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027.
This is the lot directly behind the building.
Okay. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Todd, I do have a question about that. I hear rumors that lots of non-central office employees make use of the lot that we're paying $6,100 a year for.
Is that for this lot?
Is that for this lot right out there
Which direction is it?
Behind you.
behind us?
Behind me. Yeah,
I just wonder, is there something,
yeah, we can.
if we're paying $6,100, I think it ought to be for our people, not.
I was getting ready to ask too, Randy. My question was, how many spaces are we renting for that, or is it the whole lot?
It's the whole lot.
So anytime during the day, Monday through Friday.
And you
that-
want
That parking lot out there
to
should,
run roughshod out there?
there's no way we would fill it up.
Jeff volunteered to take care
No,
of it.
I've never seen it full.
Can we sublease? If there's other businesses and other people that work in this area.
It's full pretty often.
Well, no, but if it's not all ours, can we not sublease part of that to the people that are taking advantage of the free parking?
I guess what I'm saying is it's tough to find a parking spot here some days.
Well, but
Most days.
But if the reason why it is hard to, because it's somebody that's not in here, you know, I mean, there's a lot of parking places out
It
there.
just, if you could sublease, that'd be good. If not, you could stop it by towing a couple and that would end it.
Get a parking permit, hanging in the
Get
window.
out.
But that's what I'm saying. Those people shouldn't be parking there. So,
And we don't have functional parking meters in Wayne anymore. You can park for free.
well, we're supposed to be getting parking meters. They bought them. I helped them unload it down there.
That's
the other
great.
day, too.
You helped them unload them.
But I know we ought to
I
be
just showed
spending,
up at the wrong time.
I just know we should be spending our $6,100
That means I'll have
for
trouble when I
first
go to the
parking for
courthouse and I'll have to pay.
other people.
Okay. We'll request signage and we can do permit parking out there.
That's just, if we can sublet.
Yeah.
Parking spots like they're doing it at different high schools, they're charging them to park in those spots, so why can't we charge people that work at the
That's not a
courthouse
bad
or wherever?
idea.
Can we have a problem with the money?
Sure, if you want to, Brian. I won't be there.
I know you're not the attorney for the school board, but you are an attorney. What's your opinion?
That's not an area I really, honestly, Dennis, that's not an area I get into. Any other discussion?
I was ready for your line
What?
that you were not going to give.
Oh, I've told that to him even earlier today. I am not a lawyer who represents the Board of Education. I'm a member of the board who happens to be a lawyer. I do not give legal advice.
We had
I
to
could
pay
get in-
for it, right?
No, I could get in trouble if I did that otherwise. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Item number 3, consider for approval independent contractor agreement and contract with Kristen Oxley, K-12 mathematics curriculum specialist, and the Wayne County Board of Education at a cost of no more than $9,300. The term of this agreement shall begin on August 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. It's at page 68 of the agenda.
And this is title funding that pays for this. It's part of the professional development that's provided to our data teams and math curriculum teams.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Brian, second by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed? Passes 4-0.
I have a question on that, though. I didn't hear that question.
Oh, go ahead.
This is in addition to the curriculum specialists that we already have, but,
It's in addition to Carnegie.
right?
Yeah.
And then don't we have a math specialist that there's also
Yeah.
so this is in addition to both of those.
Yes.
But it's Title I funded, right?
Yeah.
Does it meet certain requirements that we need to have covered?
They do she does the planning. She is actually a curriculum specialist in Kanawha County for mathematics. And so she comes down here and helps do planning for our mathematics leadership team, the mathematics curriculum team, on improving math throughout the district. So our curriculum people and the Title I office says that her expertise is invaluable to what they're doing. So they've requested that, we contract with her each year, and they're providing the funding for it out of the title fund. So
How long has it been going on?
I would say probably 5 to 7 years
Have we seen major improvements?
in the math curriculum. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is number 4. Consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Education Services Cooperative for visual impairment services by hiring one at-will itinerant classroom associate for the 2026-2027 school year at a cost of $26,160 salary plus fringe and 7% administrative fee for a total of $55,668.34 during the 2026-2027 school year. And that's at pages 69 through 73.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion?
This position helps us be ADA compliant for one of our employees who has a visual impairment. This position is hired to help that employee with ADA requirements.
Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item number 5, consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Education Cooperative for a full-time at-will computer technician for the 2026-2027 school year at a cost of $46,716 salary plus fringe and 7% administrative fee for a total of $81,057.08 during the 2026-2027 school year.
This
That's
is from,
found at pages 74 through 77 of the agenda.
yeah, this comes from technology funds. This is one of the service technicians in the technology department that is employed with us.
They work in this building or?
They work out of the Buffalo office, but they work all over the county.
Okay.
I mean, currently, do we have 9? Is that?
Technology wise?
Yeah.
No. We reduced one position there this winter when we had a retirement. We didn't replace the position. We have 3 people that are based at the high school. We have the network engineer. We have Joe Bias. And then we have this gentleman. I think that's it. So,
Okay, 6.
yeah.
Make a motion.
Okay,
I'll
Brian
second
makes a
it.
motion, Dennis seconds.
I'll second.
Everyone in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
And I'll pull you a complete list, Mark, to make
That's
sure.
okay. I just wondered.
I think I'm telling you right, but I'll double check.
Item number 6, consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Educational Services Cooperative for Medicaid services at a cost of $17,000 for the 2026-2027 school year. This is found on pages 78 through 80 of the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Dennis,
Second.
second by Brian. Any discussion?
This supports our funding request through for Medicaid services. So we have a secretary who tracks the time and provides billing to Medicaid for the services that we're providing that are eligible. It generally brings in, Jeb, I think we were saying, how much was it bringing in this year?
Bringing in 502,000 annual cost settlement, it brings in more than that throughout the year.
It's a pretty good
Monthly
investment.
receipts, the annual settlement this year.
So we have a full-time secretary position who's dedicated to that here. And then Mountain State provides some services as well that helps us try to maximize that funding.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item number 7, consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Education Services Cooperative for nursing services by hiring up to 5 at-will LPNs for the 2026-2027 school year at a cost of $31,100 salary plus fringe and 7% indirect costs for a total of $61,769.74 for each LPN during the 2026-2027 school year. And this is at page 81 through 85 of the agenda.
I thought we had LPNs on payroll here. Is that not the way it works anymore?
Yeah, we do. We can't fill all of the positions, so we will go through Mountain State to employ some of the positions as well. And
It's
they,
hard to find nurses.
yeah, they advertise regionally to help us bring people in.
But if we offer, or are we bound by state code on the salary? Because 61 grand is what we're paying them. I guess what I'm getting at, if we offered a LPN 61 grand, we might have more response on.
Well, when you throw in what gets it up to the
That's
61
the
grand
burden.
is
Right.
the benefits. of
Right,
that.
I understand, but that's, what,
The base salary, what the nurse receives according to this is 31,000 then.
Yes.
Okay.
31,000 is the base salary. So we post these jobs and try to fill these jobs. We use these positions when we can't fill the jobs ourselves.
even with the 7%.
What I read on this, the way I read this is they're charging a separate 7% above cost.
Right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're their employees. They process the payroll, all that. So
Yeah.
there's a 7% indirect cost.
And this says hiring up to 5 at will, so I take it might be less than 5.
Could be could be less than 5. It depends on what we can fill and what we can't fill.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Okay, Dennis made the motion, Brian seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No one's opposed. The motion passes 4-0.
There's about a $4,000 profit that they're charging on that.
That's what I was saying, and that.
Item number 8, consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Education Services Cooperative for school bus driver training at a rate based on invoices of actual cost plus a 15% administrative fee for the 2026-2027 school year. And this is pages 86 through 88 of the agenda.
And
And we
again-
have school bus drivers that are trainers
Or Mountain State.
for Mountain
yes.
State that will work in our system, so I'll make a motion.
Second.
Dennis made the motion, Brian seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Passes 4-0. Item 9, consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Education Services Cooperative to facilitate the Region 2 Math Field Day in year 2027 at a cost of $4,000. That's pages 89 through 92 of the agenda.
So moved.
Mark made the motion.
Second.
Brian seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item 10, consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Education Services Cooperative for a communications specialist at a cost of $32,324.60 for the 2026-2027 school year This is pages 93 through 96 of the agenda.
Items 10 and 11 are, and the next item 11, the legal counsel. These are shared positions, so there's multiple counties that pay for these contracted services.
Who owns it? 10, 11?
Well, right now it's 10, not,
Yeah, right now, just 10.
Okay. Motion.
Dennis made the motion, Brian seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Item 11, consider for approval memorandum of understanding between the Wayne County Board of Education and Mountain State Education Services Cooperative and Leslie K. Tyree Esquire for legal services at an annual cost of $48,000 for the 2026-2027 school year. This is pages 97 through 99 of the agenda.
So moved.
Mark makes a motion.
Second.
Brian seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
No one's opposed. It passes 4-0. Item 12, consider for approval independent contractor agreement and contract for applied behavior analysis services and assistant between Wayne County Board of Education and Diversified Assessments Therapy at a cost of $100 per hour for each hour of direct or indirect services rendered by the board certified behavior analyst BCBA, and $40 per hour for each hour of direct services rendered by ABA technicians supervised and assigned by the BCBA, and $25 per hour for each hour of direct services rendered by ABA technician assistant beginning August 13, 2026 through May 26, 2027 through June 30, 2027, if school calendar changes occur during the school year.
So these are BCBA services for students with special needs, and those paid through federal funding. And there's going to be a few contracts you see on here. We contract with different agencies to provide these services when needed.
Motion.
Brian
Second.
makes the motion. Dennis seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Item 13, consider for approval independent contractor agreement and contract for Parent Education Resource Center Service Coordinator between Wayne County Board of Education and Sarah Jones at a cost of $30 per hour, not to exceed 40 hours per week for the period of August 10, 2026 through May 26, 2027, or June 30, 2027, if school calendar changes occur during the school year. And that's at pages 105, 109 of the agenda.
Motion.
Brian makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Dennis seconds. Any discussion?
Again, this is through the special education office. It's a position that works with parents when they're having difficulties in the IEP process, just as a support mechanism.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item 14, consider for approval independent contractor agreement and contract for music therapy services between Wayne County Board of Education and Nancy Asbury, DBA Mountaineer Music Therapy, at a cost of $75 per hour for each hour of direct services rendered for the period of August 13, 2026 through May 26, 2027, or June 30, 2027, if school calendar changes occur during the school year. That's pages 110 through 113 of the agenda.
Could you explain that a little bit?
That's special education services as well. So some of the students go through what's called music therapy. Nancy Asbury has done that in the school system for a
Like anxiety,
number of years. Yeah.
anxiety, stuff like
She
that.
works with the 1% populations, providing
Alright.
their,
And there was a question that I had on this last year that I didn't have an answer on. What's this usually average? Remember last year I said, how much are we talking about? Is it 40,000? Because $75 an hour, is it $40,000? Is it $140,000? What's the in amount? I don't know if you guys remember me asking that or not.
My memory's not that good anymore.
no, neither is mine, but I'll pull that and send it to you. And again, there's not a guaranteed number of hours. or
Right, I know.
anything
I
with
just,
this.
I wanted the average.
Yeah, we'll get you the total.
Yeah, just get it all
I'll
up.
make a motion.
Dennis made a motion.
Second.
Ron seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 15, consider for approval independent audiology contract agreement between the Wayne County Board of Education and Professional Hearing Solutions LLC for audiology services at an annual cost of $20,000 for direct and indirect services to be paid $2,000 monthly for 10 consecutive months effective July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. And that's at pages 114 to 121. Mark made a motion.
What's the difference on the direct versus indirect cost on that?
Direct services would be directly working with the student. The indirect services would be if they were having to provide reports, et cetera, for the IEP committees, that type of thing.
Second.
And Ron seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No one's opposed. Passes 4-0.
I'm going to pull 16 and 17. We have some other speech and language therapy service contracts that are going to come before you at your next agenda. We want to make sure that the pricing is consistent on all of them. So we're going to pull 16 and 17
Pull those.
and 18 for now.
Pull 18 as well. Item 19, consider for approval independent contractor agreement and contract for Wilson Reading Training between Wayne County Board of Education and Ricky McCormick Cook, DBA, Wilson Reading Program at a cost of $75 per hour, not to exceed more than 5 days by the last day of each month for the period of July 1, 2026 through May 26, 2027, or June 30, 2027, if the school calendar changes occur during the school year. And that's at pages 147 through 150 of the agenda.
This is specific training and a specific reading program. We have tried to get some of our own employees certified, and we do have a few that are certified. So we're trying to cut down on these contract hours. But at times we do need to use outside sources to meet IEP needs. So that's what this contract is for.
Motion.
Second.
Dennis made a motion. Brian seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No one opposed. Passes 4-0.
Item number 20, we
Discussed.
discussed when we were in executive session. There's no recommendations coming to you for action on that. So it's just a discussion of the potential disposition of the Dunlow and Genoa Elementary School properties. And we plan to make a final decision on those properties as to either next steps or possible sale on the August 11th agenda.
Item 21, consider for approval district goals and superintendent's evaluation goals for the 2026-2027 school year.
That was the last item that was provided in your packet.
So one,
To approve those.
Mark made the motion.
Second.
Ron seconded.
we had looked at these at the previous meeting, and so the goals are laid out there. We did return the 3% increase in academic achievement and growth. We did make that specific. Chronic absenteeism, we're going for another decrease of 5% for this year. We ended the year at 26.68%, which was a significant improvement. We're going to try to improve upon that number. And so the future ready opportunities and workforce development, implementation of cybersecurity, industrial maintenance, EMT, and expanded fire service courses. And then everything else is consistent with what we talked about the last time.
Motion.
Already got the motion and the second.
You seconded
I'm
it,
about to fall
Brian.
asleep over here.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No one's opposed. Motion passes 4-0.
Your turn, motion adjourned.
Do we have any potential items for
Double
future agendas?
Nothing that we haven't already discussed.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Brian.
Dennis?
I'll
Second.
do the second.
Second, Mark did the second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I think it's 7:10 PM.
So Brian's picked up and taken over Dean's duty.
Mark did it at the last one. So
I tried to give you that second, Dennis.
I thought he-